Got it. Well, good afternoon. We're now on chapter 7 of Lao Russell's God Will Work With You, But Not For You, a Living Philosophy. This is a pretty short chapter, so we should get through this relatively quickly. So, chapter 7, Christ Consciousness. The fifth and final stage of spiritual unfoldment is Christ consciousness. It is the highest stage of human attainment, which all mankind will eventually reach. Jesus of Nazareth is the only man in all recorded history who has ever reached that stage of complete God awareness. He was so fully illumined with the light and the love which God is, and the omniscience and omnipotence which God is, that he could knowingly say, I and my Father are one. The birth and life of Jesus was the supreme event of all history. The life of God's messenger of love has been a light which will illumine the world forever, and his death by man's hands plunged man's world into the dark for 12 long, cruel centuries. He who has finally attained the cosmic light in full awareness has passed beyond fear of death, for he knows there is no death in eternal life. He who has reached that source of eternal good knows there can be no evil in God's balanced universe. He whose thinking has been as one unit of creation has now become the universal thinker with the one mind source of all that has ever been or ever will be. He who has been subject to effect in matter becomes cause. He has learned to command matter by ages of learning to obey its commands. He can dissolve and void the illnesses of man by projecting his balance into the unbalanced condition which caused them. Having become universal in his thinking, he is aware of any thoughts anywhere. All man's thoughts are known to him through the universality of the one mind whom he is. Jesus was the greatest intelligence the world has ever known. He gave to the world the greatest teaching it has ever known. Extrasensory perception, which is just beginning to manifest in the telepathic and clairvoyant stage of man, was full and complete in Jesus. That inconceivably wonderful illumination into Christ consciousness exalted Jesus to the God state of universal oneness. It was then thenceforth impossible for him to see any man as being separate and apart from himself and from other men. Jesus knew of the electrical unity of everything in all the universe. He not only knew it with his mind, but could see it with his extrasensory vision. The aura which connects every object in the universe with every other object was perfectly visible to him. Because of his unlimited knowledge and power, he was enabled to do many things which were so far beyond the comprehension of man that they were explainable only to man as being supernatural or miraculous. The time will come when you will be able to command matter to obey you as he was enabled to do. When that time comes in your knowing, the world will then know the naturalness of that which now seems so supernatural. As man unfolds into full mental growth, it is beyond his powers to either see or comprehend any state of mind which he himself has not yet experienced. When we observe that people of today do not even understand the much lower stage of genius, how very much more difficult it is, and has been, for man to comprehend the divine state when they find it in flesh and blood like their own. How often we hear people say that geniuses are especially born and that they can never be like them because of that fact. People do not deny the existence of geniuses, however, for their extraordinary mental power is too evident in their works for denial. Neither Jesus can be denied, for he too is known by his works, but he cannot be comprehended because Christ consciousness is too far beyond the present stage of mind unfolding for comprehension to be possible. It is more upon the order of man's thinking to place him in the realms of the supernatural. It is sufficient for everyone in the world to know that Christ consciousness is the ultimate goal for every man. It should be a glorious thought and the strongest possible incentive for right thinking and acting in this life in order to be a little further ahead in each repetition of our unfolding. The only purpose of man on earth is to manifest God. Long eons pass during which time man manifests his physical self instead of his spiritual divinity. But the eons pass, and man learns his lesson eventually. Your journey is for the purpose of making that transition from the physical dark to the spiritual light of illumined mind. That is what creation is for. God is love. You are given your life by your Creator to learn how to express love until you become love. The world of man has hardly unfolded far enough to even know what love means. The eons will tell it to him. His own joys and agonies will tell it to him until someday he will know. Peace will then come to him with all the happiness, beauty, and romance that love is as he passes through one uplifting stage after another to become the genius, the cosmic knower, and the supremely exalted Christ conscious being. The journey of the individual will then end in the ultimate oneness of God and man. That there closes chapter 7 on Christ consciousness.